Hi everyone, Brian Moore here. Thanks for tuning in. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a serious downswing error that a lot of golfers make with their driver that causes lack of distance, low slices, and even popped up or skied tee shots. So if you have those ugly marks on the top of your driver, there's probably a very good chance that you're doing this. And what happens here is that on the downswing, the head drifts too far forward. My upper body and my head have drifted past the ball, and that causes the club head to come down towards the ball at too steep of an angle. And you can see that's how a pop-up occurs right there when I hit down on it too much, and I catch the bottom part of the ball on the top edge of the driver here. And a huge reason why this happens in the first place is that a lot of golfers don't pivot properly in the backswing. And ideally, if I were going to make a good backswing and downswing here, I would set up with my driver and I would have my hips just slightly forward so that my spine is tilted barely away from the target. So my right shoulder is obviously going to sit a little bit lower than my left. Now, as I make my backswing here, and I make a nice full turn here, as I start down, ideally what I want to have happen here is I need a little bit of a lateral shift with my lower body as my upper body stays back a little bit. Now from here, if my upper body stays back just a little bit, the club can approach the ball on a shallower angle of approach, and I can even hit up on my tee shots a little bit, which is a good thing for distance. And where golfers go wrong here, and instead of making a nice centered windup with their hips tend to slide laterally to the right too far, and when they do that, the upper body tends to lean towards the target in an effort to counterbalance. Now from here, I don't really have a whole lot of time to get back to not only where I started, but get my hips out in front. So ultimately what winds up happening here is the hips are trying to get forward again, the upper body and the head often go with it. So a great way to alleviate this problem is to practice hitting some tee shots off of an uphill lie. Maybe you can find a spot on the driving range where there's some slope upward. And I want you to try to feel like you're going to try to hit the ball up the slope rather than drive it into the slope. All great drivers of the ball have their head behind the ball at impact. Now, some golfers return their head to right where it started, but most guys on the PGA Tour, with their driver only, you'll find that their head actually moves backward away a little bit, and that's much better than the head moving too far forward. So give it a try, and I think you'll find that you're going to get a lot more distance and a lot more height on your tee shots, and you can get rid of those ugly sky marks on the top of your driver. So thanks very much for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see you later.